I'm going to try to get into the video as quickly as possible. You see it says iPad. This is the positive version. Check out the negative version when you're done with this video, or maybe you've already seen the negative version. But I definitely really like the iPad, so the positive version, I feel like I have a lot more to say. When I first went to Apple's website before watching the keynote to look at the iPad, I was not impressed. After watching the keynote, hands-on videos, reading about it more, I cannot wait to get my hands on one, to use one. My dad's getting one, so I will be able to make a review on it, so look forward to that. And yeah, so I'm just going to do the same way that I did my negative video, the same organization. So first off, the name. I like the name because it reminds you of a notepad. It's not really a tablet because that reminds me of a tablet PC. The purpose of this is nowhere near the purpose of a tablet PC. It doesn't have a lot of the functions that tablet PCs have, and it also has functions that tablet PCs do not have. So I don't think Apple wanted you to think of a tablet PC when you heard the name of their product. Okay, for hardware and design. Hardware, the A4 chip, I'm confident in Apple that this chip is going to be speedy, and I'm sure the device will run really well. People are saying that this thing looks and feels like, but I'm talking about looks right now, like a giant iPhone, or iPod Touch for that matter. And this is a good thing because it fits into their product line. It's kind of like expanding on the iPhone and the iPod Touch. So why not make it look like an iPhone or iPod Touch? The bezel is nice to have. It fits in with the rest of the Mac product line. And the aluminum, again, fits in with the Mac product line. The home button, just like an iPhone or iPod Touch. So people are already familiar with how you interact with this device. And I think that is key to making sure people don't mind moving over to it. The LCD screen seems beautiful. It's crisp and clear with beautiful colors. Of course, I have not seen it in person, so I can't say much, but from the videos, it looks like it's a pleasure to look at, watch movies on, and read books on. The size of the screen is like a sweet spot. When people rewrite, or if they choose to rewrite their application specifically for the iPad, they can take advantage of the screen and maybe add more features to the application because they have more room. It'll be easier with the screen to browse the web. It's not that comfortable browsing the web on a screen this large. It's fine for a phone. The iPad as a mobile device is perfect for browsing the web. Like Steve Jobs said, it's a much more intimate experience. And finally, the camera issue. Not everything needs a camera. First of all, there is no need for a camera on the back of the device like an iPhone would have, because it's not like an iPhone. It's not the size. It's not something you pull out of your pocket. It will fit in your pocket just to snap a picture quickly. As for the front, I think it would be useful for video chat, but video chat would be awkward to do with this thing because of the size again. You'd have to hold it out in front of you, unless you were using it on the dock accessory, but this device is more for on the go. Although I do think that it would be, nice to have a front-facing camera. It's not necessary though. The operating system is what I'm going to talk about next. So the lock screen and the home screen have no changes, other than the fact that you can actually have a wallpaper behind your icons on the home screen, which is nice. This way, all users are familiar with the lock screen. They kept it simple. The home screen, again, is just like the iPhone and iPod Touch. They want all their products to kind of flow together. It would be odd to make it so the iPad has a bunch of things that are different from the iPhone software, and everything can be added onto in a software update. It's as easy as that. No multitasking was the biggest blow for most people, but I think I have an idea of what Apple's reasoning is behind this. All the applications will perform better without multitasking. It'll be faster, snappier, and Apple wants you to be impressed with the speed of this thing. It's a 1 gigahertz chip. It's not incredibly fast. And netbooks chips aren't much faster, and they don't run multiple apps very well either. I feel like if there was multitasking, people would abuse it and then claim that the iPad isn't powerful and claim that the battery runs down too fast, because that's what will happen if you run too many applications at once. And what are you going to do with multitasking anyways? You're going to want to probably listen to music while you read a book, or listen to music while you work on a um, document in Pages, or listen to music while you play a game. All of this can be done on the iPhone already, so there's really no point in being able to run so many applications at once. A friend of mine on YouTube, Matt's Macintosh, check him out, youtube.com/mattsmacintosh. He makes great videos. He said something on Twitter that I completely agree with. He said that Apple's not trying to impress the geeky, techie people on YouTube. They're trying to impress the average consumer who really doesn't know too much about computers. The average consumer is happy with reading their ebooks, watching videos, listening to music, and then all those apps that are available. That's it. They're not going to be using this as, like I said earlier, a laptop replacement. The next thing that people are really upset about is no flash. Websites with flash a lot of times are games websites like addictinggames.com. Who's going to want to play addicting games on their iPhone when there are so many fantastic applications available with better quality? Flash also probably bogs down the processor. In my negative video, I say that the keyboard doesn't really have any improvements over the iPhone keyboard, but it is bigger, and they say that it's almost life-size. So I'm sure it'll be easy to get used to. I actually type really fast on this keyboard on my iPhone, and it's much smaller. So I can't imagine how much faster I'll type when I have like room to actually put both my hands instead of 2 fingers on the keyboard. And then of course there are accessories to make it easier to type on, like that case that kind of folds over to give you a nice angle for typing, or even the dock so you can use a Bluetooth keyboard. The next thing I'm going to touch on is apps. And apps is where this thing will prosper. Before the App Store on the iPhone came out, it was not nearly as popular as it was after. People never imagined that such great applications would come out for the iPhone. The iPad has that bigger screen, like I said earlier. Apps, a lot of them will be rewritten with the new SDK. Since the iPad isn't coming out for another couple months, developers will have time to create applications for it. So if you buy it right away, you'll have a bunch of apps. I want you guys to imagine what kind of textbook types apps will be available on this thing. What kinds of apps for students? There are people out there who are really creative, and they will make applications that we will all be wowed by. When I watched the iWork demo on the keynote, I swear my jaw dropped. At first I thought, why would you want to type up a document on a touchscreen device? Why would you want to make a keynote presentation? But when I saw how they adjusted that desktop application to work on the iPad, I was blown away. And it looks like it's fun to use. It looks like it's really intuitive. And that's the great thing about a touchscreen. That's a great thing about Apple's software on touchscreens. So that's really all I have to say about applications. The iBooks application looks great as well. It's a lot more personal than a Kindle because you can touch the page and turn it with your finger and get that great animation and hear the sound of a page turning. I feel that the price is very competitive. It's obviously competitively priced with the Kindle DX, and it can do more than the Kindle DX, although the Kindle may be better for long-term reading. That's what I've heard. Most people getting the iPad aren't getting it just for reading anyways, and considering the pricing, how it's close to the Kindle DX, and it does so much more, why would you get a Kindle DX? So overall, people are saying it's too similar to the iPhone and the iPod Touch. That's what everyone at my school is saying. They're all starting to realize, wow, this isn't that different. It's not that revolutionary. But that's what they think. But everyone who has an iPhone or an iPod Touch falls in love with it. And an iPhone or an iPod Touch with a much bigger screen, with a faster processor, with more capabilities, is perfect for a lot of people. And that is why I'm really looking forward to trying this thing out, because I can't say much about it yet. I haven't tried it. So for all the people who are really negative about it, go to the Apple Store and try this thing when it comes out, and then I want to hear your opinions. They made some nice tweaks. It's like everything you could possibly need for multimedia and fun applications, plus the added functionality of the iBook store, all for $4.99. To conclude this video, I just want to say, remember, the purpose of the iPad is not to replace your portable computer, your notebook, or your netbook. And it's not to replace your iPhone, really. I'm sure it could. It could easily replace your iPhone. You could buy some cheapo phone and save some money. But it is a new category. Will it work? I don't know yet. But I think it's a really good start.